Once you taste blood, it's over. Thinking this is the kind of money I want to make forever.
We got Him500 in the building. What does somebody need to do in their business to keep level-headed?
To really grow, you have to be laser focused. Growing my brand into what it is today, I focus first on my product. Now I need to outmarket people. But that's where credit comes in. And now I can spend as much as I want because I make my money back over my ad spend. So now I can spend $100,000 in a week.
What kind of advice would you give to your kids if they did shit like you was doing?
I'm the weakest version of a human being is somebody coming out of these fucked up environments. My third generation, I'm okay with them being average class, good citizens. Because nigga, I come from savages.
Would you ever leave Atlanta?
There is no other place where you're gonna find that many black people. There will never be another Atlanta. There can be cities that thrive and be okay for blacks, but it won't be Atlanta.
Hey guys, we realize a lot of you are coming to the page and enjoying the content, but we see a lot of you still aren't subscribed. And so if you could click that subscribe button, it'll help our channel grow and give you more episodes with a lot of amazing individuals. Yo, welcome back to another episode of Attractive Mindset. And listen, today's guest, this man, this legend, I'm going to let him tell you a little bit more about himself. We got Him500 in the building.
Man, listen, my guy, I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. Yep. So everybody calls you Him500. And that's the keynote that, I met you at. We heard about you. But today we're going to take it back a little bit because your name is Marcus, right?
Yep.
Who is Marcus?
Him500.
Fair enough.
Nah, you say, honestly, a man, a father, the creator of Him500. You know what I'm saying? Like, but nah, honestly, man, just a ambitious kid, right? Before Him500 was created, an ambitious kid that was eager to go, always eager to.
So where you from originally?
Stockton, California.
Stockton, California. Oh, West Side.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm from Stockton, California. So I was born at and then transitioned to Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay. Yeah. And so let's stay on California a little bit. So I was stationed over there, but up north.
Okay.
And so
where, like Redding?
Nah, desert. I'm talking 29 Palms.
Oh,
yeah, that shit was horrible. Yeah. Past Palm Springs, I hated that. That didn't make me like Cali at all. And so growing up in California culture, first off, is a little wild because when we did go to LA or San Diego, y'all have these turf wars. Like, you can't wear certain colors on certain blocks. You can't do certain things. You can't be around certain people. And so growing up, what kind of community were you subjected to?
Listen, it's nothing more attractive to a mindset than actually being educated, understanding how to grow financially and being able to execute on it with the proper tools, information, resources, and systems. I want to give you guys a free training on credit to cash. Listen, go to credit2cashlive.com, credit2cashlive.com. I'm going to give you a training on how to clean your credit, how to repair your credit, how to build your credit, how to fund your credit, and actually generate cash flow from having good credit. It's not just about having a good credit score. It's about actually learning how to monetize it, make money from it, and walk away from your 9-to-5 and create financial freedom. Listen, Credit to Cash Live, I'm giving it to you guys free right here on the Attractive Mindset Podcast. Let's go. It's worse in LA because where I'm from Northern California.
Okay.
So I'm between Sacramento and the Bay Area.
Okay.
So it ain't as bad with the colors and stuff, but it's still hoods and politics and sides that's always at it. You know what I mean? But for me, I lived on so many different sides growing up, and family members' places. I really never had those issues. You know what I mean? I was blessed to not have issues where it's like, yo, I can't go over there. I don't, I got a cousin that's from over there. I got a friend so I went to school with over here for a little bit. I went to school, so I didn't really have those issues growing up in California. And then I always been a cool dude. Like I always been, trying to get some money and be fly.
Facts. Yeah. So that do come with its own things though, because New York, I'm from New York. We on the same type of time. Like, you got to get the money, got to get fly. And so with you being that, what would you say your life was like growing up as a kid?
bro. It was fun, Brian. I'm one of the ones that like in school, I shot dice, right? Like
playing
we shot
CeeLo.
dice. We do craps. We do two. We do the two. I ain't never do 3 card. I never learned the 3 dice, right? Went to New York though. Some dudes from Harlem went to school with one of my cousins. They played ball. And we went back to New York, and them was the first people that ever taught me about 3 dice on how to play it. We was well into college when I learned that, but we used to play at in high school. We played 2 dice, but it was dope. I mean, for me growing up, I always been received okay. I never, you know what I'm saying? It's just always been who am I, what I'm into, play sports. You know what I mean? It wasn't nothing. It was traditional, regular shit that we go through. You know what I mean? Fights and shit like that, but nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Like I lived the okay life. Like growing up, it was okay in my personal experience for what I knew.
So what you mean by that? Elaborate.
I didn't know what else existed.
Okay.
So I didn't know, like being able to look back now, I could see the lack thereof and the things that wasn't privileged or allowed to me, right? Coming from a major city like Atlanta, and I could look like growing up in a city like New York, the things that you guys are exposed to, the things that you guys see, it's different. The things of the possibilities, right? We don't have a bunch of skyscrapers and things like that. Like it's not a lot of possibilities that you see. And I didn't see that growing up. And so when I look back, honestly, it's like, man, like what I thought was great in this environment is great, but in reality, it's really like mediocre at best.
Gotcha.
And that was the ceiling that was set for me. And really, without me moving out and being able to see another city, I wouldn't be who I am.
Gotcha.
My biggest blessing was realistically moving, traveling was the thing that kind of changed everything for me. Because if not, I was in this environment, and the greatest thing in this environment, because I always want to be the best. So I look at what's the best thing that can come out of this environment, and it's like, wow, like the best thing that's gonna come out of this environment is you, even if you go to college and get a good job, you get a $400,000 house, and you
that's capped.
You there $500,000 house, you that.
Yeah.
You get $1 million house out here, man. You balling like you really one of them ones. So Benz was the car. It wasn't Bentley, it wasn't Rolls Royce, not Ferrari, not no Bugatti. That shit was not like that. Doesn't exist here. It's S550 Benz is the top. Nowadays it's probably a little bit more like a Maybach or a Bentley or something like something, but it ain't really like that. And you'll be one of one. So growing up, my views was limited. You know what I mean? Of what was possible to reach. And
how long did you stay there in Cali before you moved?
I was 20.
Okay. So what made you move from Cali?
I went to Atlanta. You ever been to Atlanta?
I don't like the airport, but yeah, I've been there.
Enough said. If you know, you know.
Facts.
Nah, I went to Atlanta to visit, bro. And when I went to Atlanta to go visit, I fell in love with it. Told my mom, like, nah, this is where we got to be at.
Visit family?
Nah, I went to go visit. It was homecoming.
Okay.
So I went there for homecoming. Told my mom we had a family reunion there in a few months, which was the crazy part. She went and seen it too and was like, oh, nah, this different. The rest is history. It's over.
And so now at 20 years old, you convinced your mom to say, yo, we got to make that move. Right? And so you said your mom, dad wasn't there.
Now, my dad in prison just got out December 4th.
He just got out December 4th this year? Oh, shit.
Yep.
And so how long was he was in there the whole time?
30 years.
30 years. Damn. And so how old are you now?
36.
36. And so he went in when you was young.
Exactly.
So it was just you and moms growing up. And with that kind of culture, you know, did that affect you in any type of way? With you just having to be that, did you feel like I really got to turn into the man of the house? I got to develop this or anything like that?
Nah, I was the baby of my bunch. But it just put things in perspective for me. What I got to learn from my dad's situations, things he taught me, right, is that, hey, I asked for this. I asked to be taken away from the life that I was living. I didn't want to live no more. So I'm thankful to be in prison versus be dead. And I accept accountability for the things that I've done. So I'm okay with doing this time.
And you maintained a relationship with him the whole time?
100%. My dad bought me a car for my 16th birthday.
From prison? Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, how is that even possible?
Listen, the cloth I'm cut from is the cloth I'm cut from. It's a little bit different.
I see.
You know.
Bought you a car from prison.
Mm-hmm.
That's major. Okay. So, you writing him, you going through these things, you switching to Atlanta, not being able to have that physical relationship with Pops, but still maintaining contact as you get older. How does your relationship start to transform now?
It's realistically the conversation. I mean, that's the relationship we had. I'm just thankful that he still was able to maintain poise and sane to be able to give advice that made sense and still be able to grow, because a lot of people go to prison and they maintain where they went in at. Mm-hmm. They go to prison at 18, they stay 18 the whole time they in there. Mm-hmm. I'm just thankful that he was able to grow to a new level and be like, you know what? He was able to give me advice through life as I maneuvered and as I grew, making decisions and things like that. So it was always that, and that's something I always appreciate. I understood I can't change it.
Facts. Did you ever find yourself in trouble as a young adult? Because now moving from California to Atlanta, that's a whole different kind of setting now. Mm-hmm. And they got different parts of Atlanta. I do know that part.
I found myself in trouble everywhere in every part of my life. So yes, ended up in trouble. It's crazy you say that, because my dad, when I caught my case, I caught a case, and my dad was like, yo, I'm like, no, I'm gonna take a child. No, I can beat this. Everything is circumstantial. And he was like, yeah, but if you did it, you did it. And then you don't take account for it. And a lot of people that I see come back and forth into this place is people who try to get away with something because they don't believe that they can get caught. Or they shouldn't. If they would have did this, they wouldn't have got caught. If you did something and they allowed you to maintain your freedom, then accept your freedom for what it is and don't ever allow them to put you back in that box. So I ended up pleading out, got blessed, and ended up getting probation and walking away. But I in my heart, I wanted to fight it.
And so with you growing up in an okay situation and switching to this kind of vibe, what's your friend group at this time? Would you say your friend group is what triggered you to get into these situations, or ambition?
Ambition. I wanted to make money. My best friend had died, and when I came back, I remember sitting on the airplane crying. The only thing I thought about was, you know what? Get rich or get sent to the police station.
How old were you at that age?
21.
21. So right after you got to Atlanta, you met him there or in Cali?
Cali. So we grew up together. He ended up moving out there too.
Oh shit.
So we stayed there about a year, and he ended up committing suicide.
Oh damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so in your getting money pursuit, after high school, you went to college?
Nope.
So
I got my real estate license.
Okay. Real estate license, flipping houses, selling houses?
Selling. So I got my real estate license at 18, but that was 2006.
That's the crash coming up.
You jumped into a burning bullet.
Damn.
Bomb. It's over.
Damn.
That quick.
Damn. And so with you jumping into a market at this type of time, did you invest a lot of money into it?
A lot of time. I just got exposed to learning how to make money. It was money there. I made some money. Once you taste blood, it's over. Thinking this is the kind of money I want to make forever.
Facts. And so as a young adult, once the market crashed, so let's talk about that period of time first, because this is what most people don't get a chance to go through. Everybody nowadays dealing with COVID. Yeah. But this is before COVID. So you dealing with this crash, how does that affect your life now?
Man, bro, because you imagine being 18, right? I got a Charger. I'm seeing $10,000 checks, $14,000 checks. It's like,
eating.
Oh, this is up.
Yeah.
Then it says, yeah. People you didn't help buy houses, they got to do loan modifications now.
Oh.
They got to refix the loan that y'all didn't help them get.
So you got to pay that back?
No. They getting fucked over. You sold them a bad loan.
Yeah. Damn.
It's like, what? Yeah. You sold them a bad loan. So now you got to kind of redo that.
Now people mad at you. They want to come for you.
I knew I shouldn't buy a house with you, little nigga.
Yeah.
Little nigga don't know about real estate.
Damn.
No, you in that position, but outside of that, it feel bad to at once sold somebody something or thinking that you was helping somebody, and then the market does what it does, and you feel guilty a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Now I'm gonna put a little perspective into that too, because in you selling houses to people, was it a diverse portfolio? And when I say diverse, I mean like black people, white people, Asians. So you just selling to black people.
Yep.
And so that kind of feedback from your own community, how is that making you feel up top?
It don't even matter. That's my community. It was the actions that I did. They was in a bad position. You know what I'm saying? That was the hard part. They was in a bad position. Not me. I got paid.
Yeah.
They don't afford us losing their home. This ain't, you know what I'm saying? This is just like, yo, you finna lose your home. Like it's really like people out here losing their homes. Like that shit is not. It was like my city was like was the worst place when it came to that. Like for the capita for the mileage and the size of the city, my city was the worst. Obama came and visited and stuff like that. Like it was the worst. So I look and just be like, it wasn't. Never would I look at try to blame somebody else. I felt bad. You know what I'm saying? Because like we had celebratory moments. People buying a house, like that's celebratory. Like you celebrating. It's like, yo, bought my first house. Like, and then that happened. Change everything. But it's what gave me the mindset to be recession proof. Because I look and say, yo, listen, I don't want to do nothing that's going to help me that I can only make money one way.
Facts.
I got to be able to make money at least 3 ways.
Is that where recession proof began?
100%. The mindset because of the recession. So I would have to tell myself, man, you recession proof. Don't let this shit break you.
Facts. And so now, after you develop that mindset, what starts to happen next and what age?
I started hustling in Atlanta, selling shoes, flipping phones and stuff like that on Craigslist, and just kind of running it like that. And that's where the kind of the entrepreneurship and everything kind of, in Atlanta, the grind in Atlanta kind of started, and brought me and took me outside to get to where I'm at now.
No, 100%. And you going from getting this, closing loan deals on people. Now you flipping phones and you flipping kicks. Don't get me wrong, it's a hustle. I did the same shit. But at the same time, the money that comes in is different, and the amount of effort that you got to put towards it is different too. Yeah. And so now how old were you when you started doing that?
What was I was in Atlanta when I got there, about 20, 21.
So, still same age?
Yeah.
Okay, so 2021, you doing this and that now.
And the respect changes. You're perceived different when you're a realtor.
Of course.
You wear suits and different things like that. So my perception of relationships, everything like that, it changed the way I was perceived and the way I carried myself on a daily basis.
Facts. And I feel like even now, still till today, there's a lot of industries that are looked down on because of the saturation that happens in it. So, somebody comes up to me nowadays and they're like, yeah, I'm in real estate. Like, nigga, everybody's in real estate.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I'm in credit. Everybody's in credit. I do life insurance. Everybody do life insurance.
Yeah,
like, it's not exclusive anymore.
So, it was exclusive then. Though.
Yeah, then hell yeah, it was exclusive then. You don't hear everybody walking around and actually making money from it, doing that. Okay, cool. So you flipping the stuff. At what point in your life do you say to yourself, or does somebody else say to you, you got more to do? Where does the development start for you to get into where you are today?
I was doing credit repair. And my business had grown to its cap.
And so you can't fly by the business. How did we get to the business? Let's get in there.
I used to work at Wells Fargo.
Okay.
So working at Wells Fargo, you start to identify people having issues with credit and stuff like that. So that's what kind of led me into that. And then I started seeing people not really qualifying for credit. And what I realized, though, is that when I did real estate, my broker taught me credit repair. I had a file cabinet with all my stuff from when I was a real estate agent. I went and found my old credit repair paperwork and started hustling credit repair.
I feel like credit repair back then is way different than credit repair today.
1,000%. But you got to think, it ain't too far of a difference. And then with the internet, it help you improve everything and grow.
I feel like today they're changing it up because you got everybody and their mother saying, oh, I could send this dispute for you. I could do this for you and whatever. And so now they're changing the laws or changing whatever structure there is to try and not make it as accessible.
They want to make it not as beneficial in work. You know what I mean? Because people are getting more hip on how to do it and things to do. Right. So no, that's 100%. But I think back when I did it, it was a different ball game. You know, and still till today, as we grew into it, everything changed.
Nah, facts. Okay, so you start doing credit repair, and you do it for yourself, I assume.
Yeah, I'm doing it for myself, clients, everything.
Okay, and so now, mid-20s, you're doing credit repair for yourself. How do you begin to start leveraging credit? Because I know when I was mid-20s.
Nah, it was really just strictly, honestly, for. I did businesses, bro. I done had Boost Mobile stores. I didn't did a lot.
Like you bought them?
Started. Like when they were in partnership, yeah.
Okay. Franchise.
The part about it, the hard part, is when your business slows down or the hustle slows down and you have nowhere to go and nowhere to turn to. You got no security in this.
And so that's the part that makes me think, because, you know, as Black men, especially growing up in some of these inner city communities, I know I grew up in the hood. You know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm
not subjected to a lot of this shit, and so me being out there, who is giving you the preface like, yo, you could franchise a Boost Mobile, you could get this, you could open a store, you could, you know, did you have a mentor or are you reading books? Like what?
Nah, honestly, people I did business with, I've always been blessed to hold enlightening conversations.
Okay.
I always want to have conversations about business and stuff like that. And I stay around people that's getting money.
Facts.
So just being in them environments and in them rooms, the opportunities come about. I worked at a Sprint store as my job. So naturally the opportunities came about. And so being in there, that's how the opportunity came about. And then after that, when it comes into credit and scaling, same thing with mentorship. So I bought like Ty Lopez's course. And he introduced me to a guy named Stephen Lau. And they had different courses, and those things just, everything started to compound and just help elevate my business and my business model.
Got you. And so now with you going into their courses, what are some things that you're like, yo, when I start my own, I'm going to implement this in there and make it one of the biggest ever?
It was implementing manufacturer spending into my credit course and the things that I already knew and taught. Once I implemented that and showed people how to actually utilize that because I started using it for my own benefit. So I did it different from what other people did.
Okay.
And when I started doing that, lights out.
Got you. At what point in that structure do you stop working at, you know, Boost Mobile, Sprint, all of that stuff now?
Oh no, I stopped working there before, and then later down the road I got arrested for. When I was working at Sprint, that's when I got in trouble. And then I went back to credit repair. I started working at Wells Fargo, ran through that, got fired. I mean, not fired, but taken out of there, left that position, and from the credit repair was out.
And so you being real vague. You know, you got a lot of gray area here.
Okay.
Because all I hear is you doing good shit and bad shit at the same time.
So at Sprint, I used to sell iPhones.
Okay.
And flip iPhones and stuff like that. So I ended up getting in trouble there. So that's where, when I say, like, my dad told me, like, yo, I ended up catching a case there for, you know, taking iPhones out of the spot. So that's where I ran into that. And then, you know, still grinding, still hustling, but it took years for that situation to come to a head and get caught and deal with all the court time. And in the meantime, I ended up working at Wells Fargo. In the meantime, I'm doing all these other things. And then I get hit with that. Almost go to jail, lose everything now, start working at a warehouse. Working at a warehouse, realize who I am, kick back in the hustle drive, and get outside and get going.
And so as you're going through this, what is your mom telling you?
Bro, once I hit 21, bro, it really I put everything on my shoulders. It ain't nothing too much my mom could really tell me.
And you don't have brothers and sisters?
I do.
Okay, what are they saying?
I'm the one who get the money. It's nothing nobody could tell me, bro. That's the bad part. Is that I always operated off my discernment, bro. Like people around me, my brother deterred me from doing some stupid shit. You know, I was gonna do. I don't care. Cuss. We good.
Yeah. I mean, you done did it like 10 times.
Yeah. I did it unknowingly too. That's the cool part. I just felt that cuss word come out just now. Though. I was like, damn, that was a little harsh. But my brother literally had told me something like, nah, you got a Fortune 500 brain. Like certain things you shouldn't even be entertained or doing. And I'm like, damn, you're right.
Okay. And so as you're starting to develop, do you have this skill of, you know, what's that show where like you ever seen Snowfall? With Franklin Saint?
Nah, I don't watch TV.
Fair enough. You know, I was gonna say a quote from there, but if you don't watch it, you don't know it anyway. But basically, he bring his family into the business, and they start, you know, doing stuff like that. I guess like Two Line S.
Okay.
You know, so it becomes a family thing. What's the first place that you start to set up your team? Did you incorporate your family into the business, or you just kept them to the side and started with other people or whatever?
I definitely incorporated them. To a certain degree, but you know, you realize is that one thing as a CEO, I realize you cannot put people in position that they're not qualified for just because they're your family.
So with you saying that, because I felt that one, what did you lose before you like, I gotta get them out of this spot?
Nah, bro, you get bad. Like one of my family members quit on me.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? And it'd be like, yo, like what? Like over personal reasons. And it's like, you know what? I can't have these things intertwined in my business. I can't have it to where personal things or.
Do you have paperwork at this time? You putting them on paperwork?
Of course, everybody on paperwork. W-2, just, you know, everybody on paperwork.
And you learn this structure from just going to courses and mentorships over time?
No, I learned that structure from hiring an HR.
Oh, okay.
So bringing an HR manager into my business.
Okay.
To properly put the SOPs in place, to properly put hiring processes and documentation in place.
So going through the mind of Marcus really turning into Him500. Did you turn into Him500 yet?
Yeah, 100%. I
mean, you had the nickname. When did you get the nickname?
Him500 developed in 2014.
Okay.
It's that's why I say like I've been Him500 my whole life.
Got you.
Like I've always been there. Like it's been I've been carrying that since like 2012, 2004. When I got on Instagram, 2012, I was Him500. That was my name. This shit started on Twitter.
Got you.
MySpace.
Got you.
It was just, it used to be Fat Boy 500.
Fat Boy 500, and you named yourself that. Got you.
Yeah.
Nah, I do remember seeing the old school somebody. You know, I'm gonna say this to your face. My bad. You know, he gave me the password to your course for free. He bought the shit. You know what I'm saying? We still support it. I took it a little bit. You know what I mean? Hey, listen.
Nah, it's all good. It's all good.
Is, but you know, and I seen a couple of videos, but at that time, because when you turned into Him500, I was on deployment. You know, I was overseas doing shit. You know? So I came back and he's like, man, you got to get into credit, do this and that. I'm like, man, fuck that. Like I'm not doing that, you know, but that's where you became one of the more prominent people that I started to see in that space. And seeing you in that space, I'm like, you know, I don't really understand. And my perspective was more so cash flow. I was listening to like a Dave Ramsey where it was like you don't really have to leverage credit, even though he had it. But if you maintained a certain level of cash flow, you could eventually run the world almost type shit.
Yep.
And so now, once you turn into Him500, 2012, 2014-ish, and you was already doing some crazy shit back then, how do you start to get your brand to the level that it is? So a lot of people that are going to be watching this show, it's international. Most of my audience is international. You know, we get messages, people changing their lives in Portugal, all type of stuff, right? And so as you become this mogul, because that's exactly what you are. You have this mogulness to it. What does somebody need to do in their business to keep level-headed? Because you're mentioning, yo, I'm doing this at the same time while I'm also doing some good business shit. How do you really keep that level of mentality to be like, yo, this is what I need to do. I need to keep myself on this page. I need to make this money. I need to get HR XYZ.
Man, honestly, bro, when you start building in your business and you want to grow and scale, to really grow, you have to be laser focused. For me, growing my brand into what it is today, I focused first on my product of what I was selling, making sure it was good. Then I focused on how do I let as many people know as possible. So now marketing and everything come into play, because now I'm just trying to let everybody know. How can I let people know? What marketing things can I do? Now I need to outmarket people.
Facts.
I need to spend more on advertisement than people.
Facts.
But that's where credit comes in. Yeah, tell Dave Ramsey to go, yeah. How you get your marketing budget? Yeah, you snowball your marketing budget you fucking want to.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like, take your $5, put it with the 10, and then you save to pay off the 10, and fuck that. Marketing. I got a product that works. I just develop ads that worked and perform in a system, and it was over. And now I can spend as much as I want because I make my money back over my ad spend. So now I can spend $100,000 in a week. So now anybody who's trying to compete with me who can't spend $100,000 a week on ads, you can't compete.
And so you coming into the game, being that prominent at that time, you know, your direct competitors when it comes to credit and everything like that, what are some of the things that you did different outside of the marketing to be like, yo, I'm Him500, I'm here?
No, I just was a real nigga. It's the difference. A lot of these people get online and they do sucker shit. They do it's like, it's not natural. It's not on purpose.
Yeah.
It's just who they are.
Facts.
If you're not really like, you don't really fuck with the people, you're not really trying to do that, you won't do it. I go outside. Do events. I want to be innovative. I'm trying to reinvent the wheel. I ain't trying to run on a hamster wheel just on the behalf to get something from y'all. I'm trying to take us all somewhere else. Let's do something different. Let's figure it out. And so I will go outside and do outside events. I go do basketball tournaments. I really go outside to pull up on my community. You see, I'm here with you. I pull up like, come on, bro. Like, we're going to do it. Let's run it. Facts. I really pull up. I really go fuck with the people who support me. And it was the thing where, like, even within Recession Proof, it's like, yo, as a member, who you buy a course from and they give you free conferences. And not regular conferences.
Nah, hell no.
The best conferences.
I went to the Circle of CEOs.
See what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about the Circle of CEO conference is a spinoff from the Recession Proof conference. The Recession Proof conference was free. You had to buy a ticket to come. If you was a member, you come to Recession Proof for free.
Facts.
Floyd Mayweather, Magic Johnson, you name it. Like, we really like. And so with me building that community, with me building Recession Proof out, it separated from the side because it was like, yo, what didn't I have? What didn't I like about buying and being a part of other people's communities and shit? What did they hold back? And they will hold back their marketing and sales strategy.
Got it. So
you sell me something, but don't tell me how you sold it to me or how you're able to profit off of it. I will sell you my course and show you how to build a course, make a course, and what I did to make it.
So if you didn't grow up in Atlanta as an adult, do you still think you would be the same version of yourself that you are now?
The world will never know. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
The world will never know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can't answer that question. I feel like I'm always gonna be a hustler, but I'm here.
Nah, 100%. And there's a quote that goes, tough times create tough men. Tough men create good times create weak men create tough times. And so you're a father now, right? You have kids now. And so the level of hustle that your kids will be subjected to is definitely different from the level of hustle that you had to be subjected to. If your kids get into, because this happens, you see it a lot with other celebrities, like the kids are their kids, they're going to live their life their way. They grew up a certain way and they might want to venture out and do whatever. What kind of advice would you give to your kids if they did shit like you was doing?
The thing that I eliminated my kids doing things that I was doing because I did things for financial gain. Their problems won't be. I'm thankful for wisdom and to be able to unlock my different levels of ignorance to things that I don't know. when I look at raising my kids, their struggles not going to be my struggles. Mm-hmm. But I'm smart enough to know and try to say, okay, well, what are your struggles going to be like so I can help equip you to deal with them. I dealt with financial struggles. So daddy don't have to talk to you about being a hustler and grinding and doing all of that. Dad already did that. Mm. I need to talk to you about how do you empower yourself and how do you, exist and grow from the level that you're at. Mm. Not appreciate the level that your dad came from. A lot of people be like, man, when I was growing up, man, I ain't had that. You should see how rough I had it growing up, this, that, and third. And they tell their kids shit like that. I don't tell my kids shit like that. Mm. The only place they hear about my story is probably on these damn podcasts.
Facts.
Other than that, my kids will never hear me say about how I grew up and things like that. You didn't live that life. Mm. So you don't have to experience that life. Mm. You experience your life and you learn how to operate in your life, how to cope with the things that you struggle with in your life that your dad has been able to afford for you and able to provide for you. That's the key thing. And so if I can have my kids to be able to operate at the life in the space of which they do, they should be amazing. They should be amazing human beings. I'm not looking for them to be financially gurus and go get it. Nah, we now can just be, I'm okay with having my third generation. I'm okay with them being average.
Facts.
I'm okay with them being average class, good citizens. Because nigga, I come from savages. I come from death. I come from drug addiction. I'm okay with them saying, oh yeah, well they prefer weak men. Yeah, but their weak is they go to school. They got a regular 9-to-5 job, but they don't know death. 21, I've been to more funerals. I've only been to funerals. At 21 years old, I have been to 7 or 8 funerals and never been to a wedding. Who's weak, nigga? I'm weak. You know how much trauma and pain I have on me? I'm the weakest version of a human is a hurt human. All the healing I have to do and all the growing I have to do to get to where I'm at now, I'm the weak man. I'm the hurt human being. Not the person that came up and went to weddings and played football or went to play soccer, played an instrument, played soccer. I'm the hurt human. I'm the weakest version of a human being is somebody coming out of these fucked up environments. It's the weakest you're going to get. But for some odd reason, we glorify and think that all those that go through the tough times is, that's the strong ones. No, you the weakest. You're weak. And you were produced by somebody that was weak because they put you in the environment to go through that shit. So you come from a line of weakness. Oh man, my dad worked his fingers to the bone. And, I seen him sacrifice and struggle. That's weak. Because motherfucker couldn't figure it out. Yeah, man, my dad worked the hardest he could. He died, but he was a hard-working man. Yeah, he was a dumb working man. He didn't think smart. He didn't understand how to learn. He couldn't overcome the things that was bogging him down. Not to say that life is fair. As blacks, we know what we go through. But some of us overcome it and fight through it.
Facts.
I'm thankful to be able to fight through it so my kids don't have to go through that and live in that environment and know that type of shit.
Absolutely. That's super powerful what you just said. And so even with getting to that point, I want to take a step back even because you wouldn't have your kids without their mother. Mm-hmm. And so at what point along your journey did you meet Him500?
2016. We met in 2015. Jumped in her DMs.
Jumped in her DMs? What enticed you to jump in her DMs? And so 2015, you was already Him500. You already doing things your way, all of that. What would make
I was Him500, but I wasn't this popular for Him500.
Okay.
How would you be a nigga?
Fair enough.
I ain't gonna give you no elaborate bullshit. I'll be a nigga.
And so how'd you find her page?
I knew her from, we grew up in the same city and stuff like that. Okay, so we knew each other. And I was going to a wedding and I was like, all right, shoot the shot at this. I said, yo, man, I got a wedding to go to. I'd love for you to be my date. Nobody wants to say they don't want to go to a wedding.
She said, yeah.
Let me get the phone number. I wasn't even going to the wedding. I didn't even go. I just knew she knew the person. I knew the person. And if you're willing to go to the wedding with me, you got to kind of feel like I'm that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Something you'll entertain. Because if you're going to step into a wedding with somebody, from your hometown, everybody going to see you there. That ain't, can we go out to eat?
Facts.
They ask you to a wedding, you got to be interested. Like,
facts.
I got to, I'm digging you. And then that was it.
And so y'all pretty much just locked in right after that?
No. Of course not. It never works like that. But no, we started dating, and we started talking and entertaining each other and dating for a while, and then we kind of locked in after a while. But we dated and communicated for a while first.
And so now, from a partner standpoint, with your mentality on a different level, because you might not have been the version of Him500 now, but you were still a version of Him500. Mm-hmm. What are you expecting from her to give back to you in that kind of reciprocating relationship?
Bro, honestly, I didn't expect nothing from her. She met me at probably the worst place. Like, she probably met the worst Him500. She met me as I was going through my case.
Got you.
And not only going through my case, being fearful that I'm finna go to prison. Also, I missed a court date for failure to appear, got a warrant.
Oh, man.
So I'm like on the run, like I'm scared to death. I'm scared to drive. I'm like, I gotta go to work. I got a failure to appear. If they catch me, they're gonna send me to jail. Then I gotta fight my case.
Yeah.
From jail. So I'm just like, it's the worst. I don't want to get caught on a failure to appear. So that's the person that she met. I ain't give a fuck about nobody. I don't even care about me. I'm thinking I'm going to jail, all money in. I'm stacking everything I got. Because I'm gonna have to go to jail and I don't got nobody that I can count on or rely
on. And so even with you being in that version of yourself, what made you say she's that one?
The conversation she had, she didn't even live here.
Okay.
I talked to chicks that live here.
Yeah.
And she would make me stay home and not go out and hang with other people and be around other motherfuckers for conversation purposes because of mentally where we were at. And we could mentally have stimulating conversations. And she would ask me questions that would make me think and make me talk. If you could make me think, you can get my attention. And she would be able to make me think and make me do certain things. And it's just like, damn, like, I need this energy. Like, this is like, I'm in such a dark place. I need, fuck everything else. I need the energy. And it was like, okay. So then I remember trying to like, this was why we was having phone conversations while I'm going to court, and I got done with the court case. We met and we started communicating in August. I got off the court case in January. And I remember trying to break up with her.
Trying to break up with her? Hold on, she just held you down. What happened?
I mean, you can't hold a nigga. I mean, not holding down. You're having conversations with him.
Fair enough.
Phone conversations. It's not holding it down. Not holding it down. It's not. I'm not gonna say you was holding it down. No. You was talking to a nigga with good conversation. All right.
Fair enough.
I'm still here 500, like, you know, and I would mac on her. I would ask her certain things. And, you know, I was really like, I love to talk. And she loved to ask questions and I love to give answers. So it's like, okay, you asked me I got something for that. And so we would kind of like, you know, mind fuck each other and shit. But we would travel and date and do things. We enjoyed it. Got off of probation and stuff like that. And I remember trying, like, you know how niggas do, bro. They start getting too tight. He's like, nah, I'm cool. I don't want it.
Facts.
Yo, what is this? You know, they start asking you. They start asking you, yo, what is this? Well, so what exactly are we doing?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. We vibing. Like, why you messing it up? Like, we cool. What you talking about? And it's like, all right, yeah, I'm cool then. Okay, well, I'm not gonna be with you. You know, motherfucker end up blocking me on everything. And then, you know, now nigga emailing you and shit. And it's like, yo, like, nigga sending you emails. Like, how I get here? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, now I'm sending emails. And it's like, but now that I'm here, I'm sending you email. I'm trying to email your school email. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need you to talk to me, all right? Ask me some questions so I can get some answers. I'm fucking mentally fucked up out here. I'm bored.
Yeah.
And, but now that's really how we got there. It's like, you know, she was there with me in a dark time. So she dealt with a lot of like my negativity and my just not caring. It was just real ruthless. And we got to a point where I remember she paid for my restitution. Like I pled out and said, I'll give restitution. I'll give y'all $60,000 and take probation. And the day I did it, I went to jail. I went to jail. I went to work and got fired.
Damn. Now she gave him the 60?
No, fuck no.
I'm about to say.
She gave him like 300-400.
Oh, okay, I'm about to say, damn, she gave him 60.
Nah, she gave her 60. Shit. Yeah, you know, nigga, you better be married, nigga.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Nigga, you would have had a kid the next day.
Yeah, facts. Nigga be on the knee the next day. Yo, listen, I work my fingers to the bone, right? Yeah. But no, it was like $400, something like that.
Okay.
$600. But she asked questions. I tell you, like she always asks me questions. She asked questions, and since I didn't, I was beating around the bush. Like, she's like, what? I'm like, I gotta go see my probation officer. She's like, for what? She's like, you seem like you bothered. I'm like, no. And then I got to it, and then I kind of like, and she was like, well, how much is it? Where it's at? Like, I'm like, don't worry about it. She's like, no, like, look, I'm just sending it. You could just send it back to me but I'm just sending it to him right now. So before you go in there, it's taken care of already. You don't want to walk in there, it's not taken care of.
Facts.
And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I'm like, damn, you gonna do that? Like, nigga, I'm Him500. I have an ego, a different pride. I feel like, like, I'm not the one that's like, yeah, man, put it on the floor for me. Like, that ain't it.
Yeah.
So I felt bad, and but it made me so grateful and thankful, like that you care. You know what I'm saying? Like, you actually care for my well-being.
And that's what really locked it in from that.
No, the questions and answering our conversations were locked in. Okay. And then I couldn't leave. Like, I tried to break up and I couldn't. Like, I tell you, like, I don't want to talk to you no more. And then niggas like, all right, never mind. I was fooling you. You know what I'm saying? I was just playing. Like, and you know, and I realized, like, yo, this is really my dog. Like, it's my partner.
No, that's definitely nice. And now that whenever y'all did officially lock in, you know, did she ever get incorporated into your business?
Yeah, she was there with me as I built stuff and built everything out. Like, we was there.
And you taught her how to do some of the same things?
She helped me, like, you know, because she come from a systematic approach. And so, like, even the way I was doing credit repair, she like, man, it got to be a way that you don't got to keep manually doing this. Because I used to have people at the crib manually doing stuff. And she like, nah, you got to do it like this. And I'm like, oh, okay, shit, that helped make my life easy. Boom.
100%.
You know, so she would always ask inquisitive questions on how I do things or why I do things. And then kind of help improve it. I started selling trade lines. I was using some of her credit cards at first. Like, you name it. Like, nah, she been rocking with me. She's seen the whole journey. From this nigga to that nigga.
Okay. So now from that nigga to this nigga, you know, as a level up, being one of the more prominent figures in the game, you know, it's not easy, and not enough people talk about what it's like to be damn near number one. You know what I'm saying? You always have to, you got people trying to bite your strategies and do this and do that. What do you have to go through to keep coming up with different shit to change the game? Because now you got, again, all of these people doing credit and this and that, and you want to separate yourself from that.
I don't want to separate myself from that. Shit, I taught them. I want to keep leading by example, you know, and some of them is gonna pass me up, and so I don't look back. Like, everybody that's doing credit, I have nothing against it. I don't want to be. I'm okay with being the finish line,
okay,
or the bar that people need to pass, because the examples that I set is what people have to beat. 100%. So if I set great examples of leadership, love, being able to give, being able to properly educate, if you're gonna beat this bar, who wins? The community wins. We don't need more rappers. We don't need more drug dealers.
Facts.
We need more people who want to be smart.
100%.
And want to go on podcasts and have respectful conversations. Like, we sitting on a mindset conversation. Like, we talking about the mind. Like, we ain't talking about muscles. We're not talking about guns. We're not talking about drugs. And we talking about things that help us grow and become better people.
100%.
Beat me at that, bro. I'm okay with that. Beat me. And anything I can do to help you beat me, I'm okay with it.
Now that's powerful. And now, so what about from the perspective of like, because I'm not going to lie to you, without getting to meet you, there's a different version of somebody that gets met, right? And so what that means is I'm hearing versions of you that from having this conversation, I could tell never existed. You know, they're like, yo, Him500 a scammer. He this and that. He doing this and that. And so the media plays a certain role in not only Black excellence, but it plays a certain role in you presenting yourself a certain way while other people try to tear your image down. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with those image tear downs, especially having such a big brand?
With having such a big brand, however somebody meets me is a reflection of them. Mm. There's enough of me online for somebody to connect and know who I am.
Facts.
So whatever they connect and meet and what they see or perceive or believe, it's not a reflection of me. It's a reflection of them. And so when people say like, yo, man, 500 years scammer, this, that, and the third, in reality, what happens is that they don't believe a Black man can accomplish what I accomplished. Mm. See, it's because you can't say, yo, Him500, yo, look at when you see people who do scams, you go, this person stole this much money from these people.
Yeah.
This person committed this crime and did this to these people. It's never anything that says Him500 did anything to anybody. Mm. But Him500 is such a known name. Well, he had to do something wrong that's never been identified. Mm. So, but that's natural for Blacks to be able to do it. But what happens is that's a reflection of them. Because if you operate in abundance, if you operate in greatness, if you operate in a certain level of decency, you realize like, yo, should I follow bro? I see his family. I see his wife. I see him buying his mama house. I see his students. His students are just as popular, if not more popular than him. Mm. It's people that come on his live and show they ClickFunnels awards, did 45 million, made more money than me. The reflection of who I meet is not a reflection of like, yo, who I am. It's realistically a reflection of themselves.
Facts.
Because I meet people who go, bro, listen, you changed my life. I couldn't be like you helped me do X, Y, and Z. Like, yo, you inspire me every single day. Those people are looking to be inspired. They look in themselves and look for greatness. They don't look in themselves and feel unworthy when somebody else is good. They don't look in themselves and say, yo, something can't be right because I haven't been able to figure it out yet.
Facts.
So when I don't deal with that in that capacity of like, oh, what, there's gonna naturally be a disconnect. Mm. It always has to be an opposition. For 50 out of 50 people look and see my greatness, 50 people gotta look at it and be like, I don't see it. And I'm okay with saying fuck the other side. So that's the biggest thing. Be like, how you deal with it? Fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all energy doesn't resonate with mine. Nor do y'all resonate with my mission and the people that I rock with.
Facts.
And it's okay. You can stay over there. But once people sit over there, you have to stay over there.
Facts.
And it's always, that's just how the energy is. It's like, yo, shit, fuck y'all. Like, I'm not for everybody. Nowhere on my face do it say like, yo, I want to help everybody. I don't want to help everybody. I want to help select people. And there's certain people who won't resonate with me, and I'm okay with that. Got nothing against it. Got nothing against you. But I don't fuck with you, and I'm not trying to fuck with you.
You believe in like horoscopes and shit? Nah, me either, but they be saying I'm a Cancer.
Yeah.
You a Cancer?
No, I'm a Gemini.
Oh, it's like June?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay,
you know them though. See, I don't even know what the fuck a Cancer is. Like, I couldn't tell you dates, none of that shit. I know I'm a Gemini. It's supposed to be two sides of us. That's it. Yeah. I couldn't tell you. People like, I'm a Sagittarius. I don't know when the fuck.
Yeah, I play along because I like to listen. I'm an open-minded person, but in my head, I'm like, Michelle, you're an asshole. Yeah, that's what you are. I don't care what sign you are. You're an asshole. You know. But so with your personality, one of the biggest questions that I've had is, how do you meet and form a group like the Circle of CEOs? Because listen, that shit is not fucking easy, especially when y'all all have something going on in your business. Like, bro, P outside can tell you, nigga, we tried that shit. Frauds everywhere. Like, bro, and you meet a certain level of people that say, oh, we get money on this level, we doing this, we doing that. But just like you said, like, I'm not a content person, me personally. Like, I got 3,000 followers on Instagram, but I could probably sell out a room way bigger than anybody else. And I talk my shit the same way. Like, nigga, we could stand on it or we could squabble. It is what it is. But when I say it that way, I'm very passionate about who I fuck with, and I fuck with who I fuck with. Like, you know, if we getting money together, or if we doing some shit together, like there's no affiliate link, nigga. I don't want your money. If I'm gonna promote your shit, I'm gonna promote your shit, and that's it. You know what I mean? And finding other people that think so well minded. When I went to y'all conference, I didn't know who the fuck y'all was. My boy was like, yo, y'all want to come out here and do this shit? It was Alex, and he was part of Neo's group. And I was like, yeah, cool. We can slide. And was sitting in the Gen Pub section. I'm like, man, I feel like a hoe out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? So we moved up to VIP. Sure. We saw Ed Millette. We saw this and that. And you know, it was a vibe. And I'm like, yo, this shit is fire. Yeah. The black men through this. And I watched Alex give out shit to his students and everything. I'm like, damn, they really doing something out here. And so, my bad. That was a long-winded way. I'm giving props to y'all because I like giving flowers to people while they're really here. You know what I'm saying? And for y'all to form what y'all formed, and I think I told you about this last podcast. So I was like, when the fuck y'all doing this shit again? And you like, ask Neo when we doing it again. But you know, an environment like that where you really have real learning going on, real atmosphere going on. And it's not like some conference where it's just like a turn up party or this and that. Like we met real connections, real value. But how do you meet a group like that where everybody's their own CEO? Everybody's doing their own thing already because you all have your own shit going on. They all have their own business going on. And yet y'all still make time to come together to be like, yo, we're doing this as a community, as a vibe. And they be calling you leader of the group.
No, not ain't no leader in the group. Ain't no leader. Because you can't have a leader in friendship. You have people who contribute to friendships. And everybody has a different contribution to this friendship.
Yeah.
So when you said it, the reason you can't find that group and things like that, like you said, frauds and money and not getting it like they say, or affiliate link and shit like that, that's not part of the equation when you're looking to equate it, when you want the outcome to be friendship. When you're looking to become friends, it's different.
Facts.
We're not we're not a business entity. We're not business partners. We're friends. That created a business, did a conference together. We just created a name because we were all going out to do good deeds, and we went and took over a grocery store. We went and did different things, and we kept breaking the internet, and we got tired of saying Him500, Recession Proof, good energy, Dallas, good energy, Neo Davis with greatness. We'll do it with this. We'll do it with this. So it's like, you know what? Just say, call Circle of CEOs. But we were just friends doing things, going out to lunch, being able to talk to each other because we needed somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
It wasn't about money. That's why you don't see it's not like, be like, yo, y'all gonna do another conference, y'all do this. Nah, we come together and we do things because we have great impact together. And we're a great example. But it ain't about money. And I think that's where a lot of people get it construed. Like, yo, they making money, this is that. Like, I was $1 million up before Circle CEOs got formed. I ain't need to be, Recession Proof was already born. But I just had friends that I was able to grow with, that I had genuine friendships with. And so that's one of the things I'm always thankful for, is like just having genuine friends. I met friends. We built a friendship. We built a relationship. Now they're my brothers. Their kids is my nieces and nephews. But it's that. It ain't about how much money we can make or what you got going on. This, that, there. I don't give a flying fuck. Man, when the baby birthday, when the kids graduate, who doing what here? Man, come on, bring the kids over here. I'm picking the kids up. My kids with their kids. Like, it's different. You know what I mean? And so it's like we're really friends. And the reason why people don't establish those relationships, because they're not looking for a friend. They're looking for somebody to get to be like, yo, we can be like them. We didn't have an example of who we was going to be like. We just really was friends.
Created that shit.
And we made this shit cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, we be who we are, and we just made this shit cool. That was it. And it's just like, now you look up and it's like, yo, that's like people can't really do that. And we realize that. And that's now it's like, yo, it's super important because we maintain our relationship. Like, yo, we are really a hell of an example that people look at. Like, yo, how is 5 successful Black men maintaining this friendship this long?
Facts.
Eventually, they're gonna fall out. Something's gonna happen. We've seen people come together and try to create groups, and it's like, yo, successful people too. Like, yo, man, look at all these people together. Like, yo, we and they would throw shots like they was us. Look now, nigga, where y'all at? Facts. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is fucked up, man. They fucked each other over on the highest form. Now you niggas ain't got out here and you want to stand next to and compete with us and act like we was something else. I hope you niggas watch this shit too.
Facts.
Because now where you niggas at? Because we still friends. Nigga, we genuine. We still winning.
So we've entered the amount of time where I can talk about some political shit. Right,
we entered more than enough time because you enter somebody else's podcast, so they gonna be like, "Yo, my man, yo," that definitely started hella late.
Oh, that started late. Oh, okay, well, shit. I'm gonna keep.
You want to go to politics though? You gonna start some shit? Now you like y'all niggas.
I'm not gonna start some shit. I am gonna start some shit, but I'm not gonna start some crazy shit. But this is the part where we talk about the Black community for real. And what I want to focus on is, through history, and you're not blind. You have certain situations that have happened like Black Wall Street. You have certain situations that have happened like Tulsa, Oklahoma. You've had the Black Panthers. They strategically come out with a movie called Black Panther made by, certain individuals and everything. And so my thing is, and I have this debate with a lot of people as to why I would never go to Atlanta, is because Atlanta has become somewhat of the Mecca of Black people, is what they say. And a lot of people go there to get that sense of community, get that sense of whatever. But I feel like if we put too much of the sauce in one spot, they have been prone to do shit, and they will still be prone to do shit. And so knowing that, would you ever leave Atlanta to spread the awareness or the type of community that you fostered? Because I know the community that you fostered out there, massive. Would you do that in other states?
No, it's impossible.
Why?
It's physically impossible. It's you can have success in other places, but you'll never be able to replicate a city like Atlanta. It's impossible. The hub of too many HBCUs. Ivy League schools, everything that's already built and built in there, from the state legislature to you look at councilmen, you look at the political parties. There is no other place where you're gonna find that many Black people.
Hey, it's your boy Big SK, man, the big step in the building. Anytime I throw in that drip, I come correct. This episode is coming to you by Billboard Bag. Become a walking billboard.
So, and there isn't another place that's gonna make that many Black people where they can go and feel comfortable. See, you can't uproot and change, and we can't gentrify Miami.
Facts.
It's fine, cool, you enjoy it here. But this is a Hispanic town. This is not Hispanic, but Spanish. This is that. This ain't Black. Blacks are here. You don't run nothing, Poppy.
Facts.
White boys coming in here, and them goddamn the Cubans and everybody else is Spanish, and everybody that's here. This is them. They got that. In Atlanta, we got that. We ain't got much, but we got that. And what I realized is that with us having that, it allows us to have beauty supply stores, restaurants, everything that goes on. And we have also, not only do we have the supply, but we not only do we can create the demand there, but our supply is there. See, we can create a demand for Black dollars by creating a Black business, and Facts. The supply of Black dollars is already there. Go and create a Black restaurant in Miami. Congratulations, but that don't mean you're going to create a supply of Black dollars here, of Black people that's going to automatically come and support it at a very high rate. You can't. I got a friend I seen build 3 restaurants in like the last 3 years. Grand opening, I'm showing up every time. Pop, pop, pop. Showing up, that's where I go eat at. So when I look at things like that, it's like you can't, the supply of Blacks there, it's too many. So the black dollar circulates. My friends own valet companies, restaurants, jewelry stores, whatever it is, doctors, the lawyers, the attorneys, the school teachers. It's us. So it's not a level of which they don't operate. Cool. I'm a black person in finance and in business, but I'm a small portion of this pie of what's beautiful about Black Atlanta that can never be replicated. The history, you go back into what's been done coming out of there, what's been birthed there, the Martin Luther King movement, like what's been birthed there does not matter. You can't go and replicate that. It's too historical. And so when you look at it, there will never be another Atlanta. There can be cities that thrive and be okay for blacks, but it won't be Atlanta because it would take too long to reduplicate history.
I feel that. And, I'm going to wrap it with this, which would normally go into some other shit, but, because it gets to the question of when does old history become new history? When do we start writing the chapters in the books same way?
That's why I'm inspired by Atlanta.
100%.
Big Meech flew a plane full of people in the 2000s to Cabo. I took 2 planes full of people to Miami for a free business conference. It's a new history. It's a new day and age. Biggest Black excellence conference to ever happen. InvestFest.
Facts.
In Atlanta.
Facts.
The new history is still being made now. And it's still happening in Atlanta.
Facts.
You can't go to California and do big Black conferences and things like that. There is the hub. And why? Why is anything the hub? It's because that's where majority of us is at.
Yeah.
And when there's more of us here, it's easier to find success in different tribes and different pockets of people. So the history is there. History is being made there.
Nah, facts. Man, 5. Having a mindset conversation with you is different because we could always get into the money talk and the credit and everything, but really getting to understand you as a human being, an individual, that's what this podcast is about, to let people know that, things ain't always start off the way they see it on Instagram. Yeah. People wasn't always popping shit. People wasn't always in the right state of mind, and people didn't always have, the best things going for them. And so I appreciate your vulnerability and, I appreciate it. If people wanted to find you, and we always do this thing at the end because I wouldn't be part of the community without it. Every guest that comes on here, I give them, or not give them, but I ask them, would you give one thing that you offer to somebody that's watching this video? And so that could be like a course or coaching or whatever. And we pop up something randomly during the episode. Y'all know how it goes. And you got to find it on the screen. And then you send a DM because we feel like if you spent your time watching this, we want to give something back to the community. And so are you willing to do that?
Yeah, I'll give you a free credit to cash training.
There you go. He'll give you a free credit to cash training. And if people wanted to learn more about you, tap in with you, go to your events, do anything, where could they find you at?
Him500 on all social medias. So Him500 on all social media platforms.
There y'all have it. Listen, this is your host, Moneybag Rich. And at the end of the day, we always say we look good, we live good. Life is good. Talk to us. We talk back, and we out.